Hello and welcome to today's episode of Learn German Online with Schneider Institute. Today I will be teaching you on possessive pronouns. And in German they are known as possessive pronomen. Alright? Now every pronoun in German has its own corresponding possessive pronoun. And of course we know that possessive pronouns show ownership. Whenever you say possession, even in English, whenever you talk about possession, it means your ownership of something. Now let's move to our very first possessive pronoun for today. And the first possessive pronoun we have today is mein or meine. So of course you know in German, ich means I. Ich means I. So for ich, the possessive pronoun for ich is mein or meine. Alright? Now in English, mine means my. Now we use mine when it is masculine or neutral, and we use meine when it is feminine or plural. We use mine when it is masculine or neutral, and we use meine when it is feminine or plural. Mine is used for masculine or neutral, and meine is used for feminine or plural. Okay? Alright, so now let's see. We can say, Hallo, ich bin Toni. Hello, I am Toni. Das ist mein Fernseher. Das ist mein Fernseher. So we use mein for masculine and neutral. We use meine for feminine and plural. So when it is masculine, you use mein. When it is neutral, you use mein. When it is feminine, you use meine. When it is plural, you also use meine. Alright, so let's see what we have here. We have, Hallo, ich bin Toni. Das ist mein Fernseher. Now we use mein Fernseher because Fernseher is masculine. Mein Fernseher. That's why we use mein Fernseher. Now we have, das ist mein Auto. That is my car. And the article for auto is neutral, so we use das Auto. You can see that displayed on your screen. Das Auto is neutral, so we use mein Auto. It would be very wrong to say meine Auto. Alright, so up next we have, das ist meine Tomate. Das ist meine Tomate. Meine Tomate. Tomate, the article for tomate is feminine. Die Tomate. So we say meine Tomate. Now for plural, we have, das sind meine Bücher. Bücher is in plural of book. So we say, das sind meine Bücher. So singular is book, plural is Bücher. Das sind meine Bücher. These are my books. Das sind meine Bücher. These are my books. Alright? So don't forget, when it is masculine, you use mein. When it is neutral, you use mein. When it is feminine, you use meine. When it is plural, you also use meine. So for the pronoun du, its possessive pronoun is dein or deine. Dein for masculine, dein for neutral, deine for feminine, and deine for plural. Okay, of course you know the pronoun du when we learned the pronouns. Du is saying you in an informal content. Now the possessive pronoun is going to be your. If I want to say, is this your television? Is this your car? Is this your house? As the case may be. Are these your books? Okay, I will use dein and deine. Alright, now dein goes for masculine. Dein also goes for neutral. Deine goes for feminine, and deine also goes for plural. Now let's take some examples. The first example I have for you is das dein Fernseher? Is that your television? Fernseher is a masculine, der Fernseher. So we use dein Fernseher. It will be very wrong to say deine Fernseher. Next we have, is das dein Auto? Is das dein Auto? Auto is neutral, so we use dein Auto. Is das dein Auto? it will be very wrong to say deine Auto. No, you say dein Auto, because Auto is neutral. Okay? Next we have, ist das deine Tomate? Ist das deine Tomate? Tomate is feminine. So we say deine. Remember we said deine is always used for feminine. So, sind das deine Bücher? Sind das deine Bücher? Sind das deine Bücher? Are these your books? Are these your books? Or are those your books, as the case may be? Alright? So, that is for do. Don't forget that when you want to say your, you use dein and deine. Okay, so let's move to the next one. The next one is er. Remember we said er when we learned the pronouns means he. So if you want to say it in the possessive pronoun, it is sein and seine. That's his, right? Is that his car? Is that his television? Is that his house? Is that his tomate? Are those his books? All right? So that is Tony. Er kommt aus Japan. Das ist sein Fernseher. Das ist sein Auto. Das ist seine Tomate. And das sind seine Bücher. So sein means his, all right? Because we're referring to Tony. Tony, of course, is a masculine gender. So sein means his. Das ist sein Auto. Das ist sein Buch. Das ist sein Buch sowieso. Das ist sein Auto. Das ist sein Fernseher. As we all know, Fernseher is already in masculine, so we say sein Fernseher. Auto is in neutral, so we say sein Auto. Tomate is in feminine, so we say seine Tomate. Bücher is in plural, so we say seine Bücher. Okay, so don't forget, whenever you want to say his, that is his own, that is his father, that is his car, that is his camera. Whatever you want to explain with his, you use sein and seine. Sein in masculine for neutral, and seine for feminine and plural. Okay, so we're going to move to the next one. For the next one, we have she. For the next one, we have she. How do we say she in German, basically? Of course, you know, when we have sie, it means ear. So when you want to say her, it is ear. Ear for masculine and neutral, and ihre for feminine and plural. So ear with a small letter I, as you all know, with a small letter I for masculine and neutral, and for feminine and plural, you say ihre. Let's take some examples. We're going to categorize Mary. That is Mary. That is Mary. Sie kommt aus Ghana. She is from Ghana. So how do we say that is her television? That is ihr Fernseher. Displaying on your screen, take note that we are using IHR. The I is in a small letter because we're talking about her. That is her television. The I is in a small letter. That is IHR. That is ihr Auto. That is ihr Auto. That is her car. That is ihr Auto. It is pronounced ear, just like your ears, obviously. It's pronounced ear, IHR. Please take note of the spelling and the pronunciation. IHR pronounced as ear. That is ihr Auto. That is ihre Tomate. Ihre Tomate because Tomate is feminine. Die Tomate. Und das sind ihre Bücher. Das ist Mary. Sie kommt aus Ghana. Das ist ihr Fernseher. That is her television. We use ear because Fernseher is masculine, don't forget. And it would be very wrong to say ihre because television Fernseher is masculine. That is ihr Auto. And we are using ear because Auto is in neutral. That is ihre Tomate. We're using ihre because Tomate is feminine. Das sind ihre Bücher. These are her books because Bücher is in plural. So don't forget, when it is masculine, you use ear without an E. When it is neutral, you use ear without an E. When it is feminine, it becomes ihre, that comes with an E. And when it is plural, you also use ihre. These are the 4 ways to say her in German. Okay, so let's move to it. Let's move to it. Of course, you know from the pronouns, please check for a recap of the lesson we had on pronouns, that S means it, okay? So in this case, we're referring to We are referring to objects or persons that the gender is not known, basically. So now we have its. So let's translate. Das ist ein Kind. That is a child. Das ist ein Kind. Es ist 4 Jahre alt. It is 4 years old, because in this case maybe we don't know the gender of the child. Das ist sein Fernseher. So in this case we use sein. Sein for masculine, sein for neutral, seine for plural, and seine for feminine. Das ist ein Kind. Es ist 4 Jahre alt. Das ist sein Fernseher. Das ist its television. Das ist sein Auto. Das ist its car. Das ist seine Tomate. Das ist its tomato. And das sind seine Bücher. And these are its books. Okay? So don't forget sein for masculine, sein for neutral, seine for feminine, and seine for plural. Okay, we have it here on the screen. Sein for masculine, sein for neutral, seine for feminine, and seine for plural. Okay, so we're going to move to the plural. We are done with the singular. Don't forget, we're going to do a recap at the end of the lesson. We're going to move to the plural. Now, in the plural, we have wir. Wir, of course, you know, means we, all right? We. Now, in its possessive article, it is unser, that is our, okay? Like you say, this is our own, this is our television, this is our car, this is our house, this is our father, as the case may be. So this is how we're going to show possession in plural, basically. So it definitely has to do with a group of persons trying to show ownership of something in this case. So now we're going to say unser. Unser is for masculine and neutral. Displaying on your screen, unser. Now, in feminine and plural, it becomes unsere. That's an E at the end, unsere. So, unser for masculine and neutral, and unsere for feminine and plural. Now, let's take some examples here. Wir sind eine Familie. We are a family. Okay? That is unser Fernseher. Take note of the pronunciation, unser. That is unser Fernseher. That is our television. Okay, so it implies that we all own the television, basically. So it shows group ownership in this case because it is plural. Das ist unser Auto. That is our car. That is unser Auto. But that is unsere Tomate. Because Tomate is feminine, we use unsere. Die Tomate. Das ist unsere Tomate. Das sind unsere Bücher. Das sind unsere Bücher. These are our books. Okay? So just to recap, unser goes for masculine, unser goes for neutral, unsere goes for feminine, and unsere goes for plural. Okay? Don't forget the example. That is unser Fernseher. Fernseher is masculine. Der Fernseher. That is why we say unser Fernseher. That is unser Auto. Auto goes with neutral, and that is why we say unser Auto. Okay, so let's see more examples. It's explained here, unsere for masculine and neutral, and unsere for feminine and plural. Don't forget. All right, now we're going to see the next one, and the next one is ihr, IHR. I'm sure you remember ihr from the pronoun. Do a recap of the pronoun so we learn the pronoun. Ihr, IHR. And what does ihr mean? Ihr means you all. Okay, it's a plural way of saying you all at the same time, you all, or you people, or you all, as the case may be. Now, its possessive pronoun will be your, which is euer and eure. Euer and eure. Okay, all right, not difficult. We're going to try it together. Now, euer and eure mean your. Okay, when we're trying to say your, but this time it's a plural. It's the plural, like you're referring to your children all at the same time. Basically, you use euer or the eure as the case may be. Okay, so let's move. Wie heißt ihr? Woher kommt ihr? What are you called? Where are you from? Remember, we're talking about more than one person here. Is das euer Fernseher? Is das euer Fernseher? Is das euer Fernseher? Is that your television? In this case, you're referring to more than one person. Maybe you walk into a place and you see 4 people watching the TV at the same time, and you ask them, is das euer Fernseher? Is this your television, basically? So you're referring to more than one person at the same time. You use euer. Is das euer Auto? Is this your car? Is this your car? Basically, ist das euer Auto? Ist das eure Tomate? Oder ist das eure Bücher? So don't forget, for the masculine, we use euer. For the neutral, we use euer. And for the feminine, we use eure. And for the plural, we use eure. Okay? I'm sure when you get to see the assignments, you're going to practice them more and know how to use them on your own. Don't forget, masculine and neutral, euer. Feminine and plural, eure. Okay, so now let's see one more. Let's see dear. Let's see dear. How do we say dear? That is their own. That is their television. That is their car. That is their dog. All right? Let's see how to say dear. And dear will come from the pronoun sie. S-I-E. Sie. And remember, sie means they. When we conjugated the pronouns, sie means they. All right? Now, we're going to look at how to say that is their own. That is their car. That is their father. That is their mother, as the case may be. Now, the first sentence I have says, das ist eine Familie. Sie wohnen in Paris. That is a family. They live in Paris. The Z, the S-I-E there means they, okay? Now, let's make sentences. Let's see the ownership of what this family owns, they, right? And for the ownership is going to be der. Now, das ist ihr Fernseher. That is their television. Das ist ihr Fernseher. Das ist their television. Das ist ihr Auto. That is their car. But das sind ihre Bücher. These are their books. Okay? Now let's take it again. Das ist ihr Fernseher. That is their television. Das ist ihr Auto. That is their car. Und das sind ihre Bücher. These are their books. Okay? So lastly, we're going to learn the possessive pronoun of the pronoun sie. Remember, I told you when we learned the pronouns that sie, whenever the S is capital, talks about you in a formal content. Please recap on your pronouns if you have forgotten. Sie, when the S is a capital letter, it refers to you in a formal content. Now, the possessive pronoun will be ihr and ihre. The possessive pronoun will be ihr and ihre. That is you in a formal content. All right? Okay. So ihr and ihre we refer to as your. That is your own. That is your car. This is your house. This is your computer. This is your book, as the case may be. Now let's take some examples. We say, sind Sie Frau Sarah? Sind Sie Frau Sarah? Are you Mrs. Sarah? So in this case, we are referring to Mrs. Sarah in a formal content. Now, let's see possession of what Mrs. Sarah owns. Let's ask her some questions. Is das Ihr Fernseher? Is that your television? So we're asking Mrs. Sarah in a formal content if this is her television. Ist das Ihr Fernseher? Is that your television? Is das Ihr Fernseher? Is that your television? Ist das Ihr Auto? Is that your car? Is das Ihr Auto? Ist das Ihre Tomate? Ist das Ihre Tomate? Ist das Ihre Tomate? Ist das Ihre Bücher? As the case may be. Okay, so let's recap. Ist das Ihr Fernseher? Ist das Ihr Auto? Ist das Ihre Tomate? Und sind das Ihre Bücher? Sind das Ihre Bücher? So, we're going to ask Frau Sarah if this is her television. Ist das Ihr Fernseher? Ist das Ihr Auto? Ist das Ihre Tomate? So when it is masculine, it is ihr. When it is neutral, it is ihr. When it is feminine, it is ihre. And when it is plural, it is ihre. So let's take the masculine example. Ist das Ihr Fernseher? Remember, the I has to be in capital letter to show that the your is in a formal content. So is that your television? Fernseher is masculine, so we're going to say Ihr Fernseher. Ist das Ihr Auto? Ist das your car? Ist das Ihre Tomate? Sind das Ihre Bücher? Sind das Ihre Bücher? Okay, so don't forget, ihr for masculine and neutral and ihre for feminine and plural. All right, so at this point, we've come to the end of today's episode. And don't forget, Possessive pronouns help you to show ownership of the pronouns. Let's take a recap back to the very first possessive pronoun we did today, and it was mine and meine. Mine and meine, and it means my, okay? Now, after that, we looked at dein and deine, and they mean your. Dein for masculine, dein for neutral, deine for feminine, deine also for plural. After that, we looked at sein and seine. Sein for masculine and neutral, and seine for feminine and plural. Then we also looked at ihr and ihre. Ihr for masculine, ihr for neutral, ihre for feminine, and ihre for plural. We also saw sein and seine for its, all right? Sein for masculine, sein for neutral, seine for feminine, and seine for plural. Then we looked at the plural contents, where we saw unser and unser for our, okay? Which means our. Unser for masculine, unser for neutral, unsere for feminine, and unsere for plural. Next, we saw how to say your, and your is euer and eure. Euer for masculine and neutral, eure for feminine and plural. Then we looked at ihr and ihre. Ihr for masculine and neutral, how to say dear, and ihre for feminine and plural, okay? Lastly, we saw ihr and ihre. Ihr for masculine and neutral, and ihre for feminine and plural. Please practice the pronouns and practice the possessive pronouns one at a time. Also, check your email addresses for your assignments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button at Schneider Institute on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Schneider Institute. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.